How you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're talking about Eclipse Comics Miracle Man #1. Okay, this is by Alan Moore and Gary Leach. The story behind this comic is as fascinating as the story inside the comic, in my opinion. Well, this is from Britain. Okay, so it is originally a British comic, and what it was Mick Angelo was making a comic called Marvel Man, and Marvel Man was a blatant ripoff of Fawcett Comics' Captain Marvel. So I'll start at the beginning. First, there was Superman. Superman was super popular. Fawcett Comics made Captain Marvel. You know, he said Shazam, and Billy Batson turned into Captain Marvel. Well, they would publish it in Britain, reprints of Captain Marvel comics. Well, in 1953, Fawcett Comics got tired of continually battling DC Comics for a lawsuit that Captain Marvel ripped off Superman, and then with the congressional hearings in the United States, but you know over comic books and the 10-cent plague and all that stuff, Fawcett Comics just ceased publication. So over in Britain, they had no more Captain Marvel comics to reprint. So Mick Angelo was tasked by the owner of I forget the name of the company to come up with the new character. He just made Marvel Man, and instead of saying Shazam, Mike Moran said Kimota, which is atomic backwards, and instead of a wizard who gives him the powers, it was an cosmic astrophysicist. So it's the same thing, just different, So it's Marvel, and this went on. It would come out weekly, and instead of Captain Marvel Jr., it was Young Marvel Man and Kid Marvel Man and the Marvel Man family, and it just chugged along until 1963 when somewhere, I think around 1963, Britain started importing full-page, full-color American comics, and these weekly black and white comics just couldn't compete on that market, and they stopped publishing Marvel Man, and then that company went out of business in 1966. So, and then in 1986, Alan Moore wanted to write. They heard that they were going to bring back Marvel Man, and he jumped on it. And Gary Leach was one of the only artists who was interested in it, because they were like, Marvel Man, that's just like old stale comics. They weren't interested in it. But Alan Moore, as you see, has a good twist. So when they brought it back to the United States, they preemptively changed it to Miracle Man because they didn't want to deal with Marvel Comics causing a lawsuit or anything like that. So I don't know if there was legal action, or if they or if they just decided to preemptively just change it before there was a legal action. So that I don't know about. But anyway, Marvel Man. So it's an interesting switch. It went from Captain Marvel, then it went to Britain, became Marvel Man, then it came back to America, became Miracle Man. And as the story's not ended there, Marvel Comics ended up buying the rights to it, and now it's called Marvel Man again. Ta-da! So there you go. All right, but let's take a look at this. I love this cover. So here, let's look at the indicia. It's really tiny in this one. 1985. So I said 86. I was a little wrong. Okay, Mick Angelo does the artwork. Mick Anglo. I've been saying his name wrong. Mick Anglo. So he does, and then as you'll see, Gary Leach does 1131. Gary Leach got replaced by Alan Davis in a couple issues because Gary Leach was too slow. So look at this. This is 1956, and the age of lingering innocent, the age of golden dreams, and the age for the Miracle Man family. This was an actual Miracle Man comic that was published back, I don't even know what year. Maybe it really was 1956. But in the story, the future, what will be with even the mightiest men in the universe, protect us from its onslaught. In 1981, so 25 years in our future, the Commandant Garrier of the Science Gestapo is scheming with his atomic stormtroopers. So they go back in time to 1956 with their futuristic spaceships. Beware, the golden age of the past, the futuristic doom approaches. So in 1956, Johnny Bates is out walking. I bet it's late. I better get hungry. I better get back to the orphanage before dark. Holy macaroni! What on earth is that? I bet that means innocent people are in trouble, and that means I could be needed. So he goes to check it out. And yeah, space rockets, just like Dan Dare, must be a hoax. He goes, I'll hoax you, and he burns up their farm, and he's all of a sudden everybody's realizing this isn't a hoax. This is real dangerous business. Holy macaroni! Looks like I got here just in time. Miracle Man, and that's his magic word. Now, if you're familiar with the classic Captain Marvel comics, Shazam, the wizard, gave Billy Batson power. And when Billy Batson invoked the name Shazam, lightning would be called, and boom, he would be transformed into Captain Marvel. Now, Captain Marvel bestowed portion of his power into Freddie Freeman, and Freddie Freeman would invoke the name of his sponsor, which was Captain Marvel. So they're doing the same thing. This is Kid Miracle Man. He says Miracle Man and gets a portion of Miracle Man's power. So here he is. Nothing can affect him. This little... Now he's just beating up the spaceman. So he's just smacking him around, flying around, smacking her. And then he goes to get... the kid quickly locates Sticky Dauntless of the Transatlantic Messenger Service. There's trouble. Your other self is needed. Trouble? Oh, you say so. Although I've never told you never to call me at work. I thought I told you never to call me at work. So he's goofing around. So he also says Miracle Man, and boom! Instead of lightning, it's like a nuclear explosion. So he's now transformed. He's young Miracle Man. So there you go. We got Miracle Man. We got young Miracle Man. Yes, I know how it sounds. So now they're flying off to battle and beating up everybody else. I don't get it. They should stay out for hours. I'm not pulling... Nor am I. What if I grab one of these characters and ask questions? Great idea. Let's see what's happening. So they're explaining, we come from 1981, decades in the future. We have weapons that can turn whole cities to dust. Even now, our leaders, atomic stormtroopers, are arriving in your world's other nations. Resistance is futile. This is 1985. As far as I know, that's like the first time I've heard that term, resistance is futile. So... Paris, Saigon. Looks like Miracle Man is needed. So, in the offices of the Daily Bugle, there you go, copy boy Mickey Moran reads that awful stop press news. And he says Kamota. That's his magic word. So, he uses, it's the key, speaking the secret key harmonic of the universe, whatever that means. And he becomes Miracle Man. I'll start by visiting Cornwall. So, now they're in trouble. So, now all of them are there now. Those are the last two. Gosh, Miracle Man, you're tops. The army could put these goons under guard. We've got other nations to liberate. Young, you handle Rome. Kid, we'll take care of Washington. You could leave Moscow to me. So here they are just going around, saving everybody, blasting things, flying around. The blue, yellow, and red costumes of the Marvel family. It's just so cheesy. And what's it? Okay, they're fighting. I'll blow up with our chrono counters. I have an idea. Now listen to me. Now you two stay what you can. Now go forward. While we go forward to the future, to the point of departure. Whatever you say. We'll be back soon as we can, kid. Good luck. So now he's tasked with keeping them occupied while the other two fly to the future. So what do? Meanwhile, the other two race forward in time at atomic speed. Well, Mickey, is this the year we want? Yes. 1981, look at those ugly buildings. Plus, I think I see Gary's time machines before. We've arrived before they embarked for 19... So here they are. They arrived before this space tyrant, the future tyrant. So now he's knocking up there. They look like rocket ships, but they're actually time travel ships. So he's breaking them apart. Tut tut, look at that, Gary, the would-be conqueror. I'm the commander, 12th Area World Police. Thank you, friend. No, thank you. We'll just take care of your carrier. So now... Sounds good. I hope I live to see it. So now they're promising, hey, 1 minute I'm fighting dozens of men, the next they're all finished. This is crazy than some of Dr. Gargunza's stunts. Dr. Gargunza is their version of Dr. Savannah, the evil scientist, Dr. Savannah was a direct ripoff of Lex Luthor. So Gary was never here because he never left 1981. It sounds so unbelievable. Maybe so, kid, but that's the way it was. Or was it? Ha 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 ha. And then behold, I teach you the Superman. He is the lightning. He is the madness. Friedrich Wilhelm Nietzsche. Thus spake Zarathustra. And I walked into this comic kind of blind. I just knew it was Alan Moore, and I was a Swamp Thing freak. So I remember a friend just said, "Get this comic, you'll like it." And I was reading this, I was like, "All right, this is kind of hokey, but it's not even Alan Moore." And this page, for some reason, I was like, "Okay, something's going on. Something is interesting is happening." And then, book 1, chapter 2, 1982. So now this is Alan Moore and Gary Leach. So you can see the Des Skin, Alan Moore, Gary Leach letters. And keep in mind, this was a weekly black and white comic that came out in Britain. So now these two are driving around, and he keeps having these dreams, a dream of flying. So here we have Miracle Man. What's going on? He dreams he's going into a ship, fighting, blowing stuff up, and then it explodes. The last thing I hear is the sound of thunder, and he wakes up, and he keeps having this recurring dream. "I had the dream again, Liz. I'm sorry I woke you." "Oh, Mike. Oh, Christ. I got a migraine, too. Shall I phone the paper and tell them you can't make the Langsmer assignment? Maybe they could send somebody else. It's too late. I'll do it enough. I just can't afford to throw work away because I got a headache." So here he is. "It's not the headaches, Mike. What about the dreams? You've been having them for years. Maybe if you just slowed down." So, married couple, Mike, he goes off to work. People are running around. He's covering a protest of a nuclear power plant. And people are talking. He's interviewing people. And, of course, terrorists attack. "Drop your guns. There'll be no violence. As a representative of the alternative press, I demand to know what's going on. You'll find out at the press conference. Now move aside, I'll have to shoot you." Press conference? Who are these people? So, what's going on now is these people don't want nuclear power or something like that. And they're going to blow up the power plant unless the demands are the plutonium easy enough to make a score of how we auction off around the world to terrorist organizations. So they want plutonium, or they'll kill everybody. And then he's just freaking out. He's just, "Hey, this man's sick. He needs some air." He's right. "This guy looks like he's going to die. We better get him outside." So now Mike Moran, the terrorists that grabbing him and throwing him outside. They just don't want this guy ruining everything. And they throw him in the snow. And he's looking up at the sign. And the sign is reflected backwards in the water. And he sees Kamota. Suddenly a word is there screaming before him. The pain nausea as he recognizes. So he says, "Kamota," it's atomic back. His lips move. The word is barely whisper. "Kamota." Boom. And, "Oh, Jesus, I'm blind. I can't see. Oh, Jesus." Everybody else, "Steve, all right, what's going on?" He goes, "Me? I'm Miracle Man. I remember now." So keep in mind, when he says the magic word, or the science word, whatever you want to say, it's explosive. "Miracle Man." "Okay, Miracle Man, keep this cool. Just tell us what you did, Steve, and we won't hurt you." "You won't hurt me. I'm Miracle Man." So they shoot him, and the bullets are just bouncing off him. And then there's silence. 18 years trapped in that old, tired body. It doesn't matter. So he just makes short work of them all. "I'm Miracle Man, and I'm back." The beginning. So now he goes home to his wife, and she's like, "My God, who are you?" She's like, "Your husband is back. It's me, Liz. It's Mike. Listen, you got 1 minute to get out before I call the police." "What are you saying? You're not my husband." "No, he isn't. He can't be in yet. Look at me, Liz. Not at my body. Look at me." He smiles. "Mike? Mike's what happened to you? Sit down. I'll make coffee." So he's explaining everything that happened. He's talking about, this is so cheesy. He sees the boy cowering before the impossible specter that has conjured. "Greetings, Mickey Moran. I'm Guntag Borgelheim. I am an astrophysicist whose studies have taken it beyond the dull concept of mere mortals. The key harmonic of the universe is mine to command, a word which, when spoken, bestows godlike power upon the speaker. Thus is my gift to mankind." So he bestows this key harmonic of the universe, and Mike Moran transforms into Miracle Man. And he goes, "And they were great. We battled. We went to Pluto. She's laughing. She goes, "I'm sorry, but it's such a stupid story." She says, "Can't you see this?" Astrophysicist pops up and tells you the key harmonic of the universe, which happens to turn you into a blue man and a muscle man in a blue leotard. "I'm sorry, Mike, but I'm really that stupid." And so he's just like, "Yeah, it does sound stupid." And he goes, "I suppose you're right, actually, saying it out loud like that. It's pretty unlikely. I never thought about it before, but I had to believe it. Don't you see? I was Miracle Man. I was a being of almost unlimited power, and I wasn't the only one. Within a year, I joined another young man with atomic powers, Dickie Dauntless. And she starts laughing. Oh, my Dickie Dauntless? That was his name? Come off it. I'm sorry. He goes, Dickie only had to say the word Miracle Man, and he became Young Miracle Man. He had powers. He was my friend. We fought crime together until 1956 when we were joined by Miracle Dog. Oh, please. This may sound silly in 1982, but in the 50s it made perfect sense. We had Kid Miracle Man, and we were the Miracle Man family. And here they are fighting everybody and doing everything. She goes, "What do you look? I'll accept the fact that you're a foot taller and 20 years younger, and you're still my husband. But I will. But this other stuff, Miracle Man, Young Nasty Man was their villain. I know it. Maybe it hushed up or something because of what happened in 1963. Don't tell me a couple of years later, Miracle Boys turned up and formed a football team." He goes, "Don't laugh at my life." He goes, in 1963, and that was also the year the comic was canceled, we flew into a spaceship. He goes, and then the spaceship blew up. The blast hit me and it hurt. Nothing I ever felt before, and I fell. I started to black out. And before I did, I caught sight of Dickie with the stupid name. There were two of him, two bodies crushed into one, and he was screaming. I couldn't hear him, but he was screaming. And I woke up 2 months later. I was Mickey Moran, and I was in the hospital. I'd been found in the salt marshes with terrible burns and most of my bones broken. I managed to piece my life back together, but as Mickey Moran, but I don't remember that I had been Miracle Man. Not until nearly 20 years later. Not until this morning. Then the news about the flight. So she's telling the story, and then somebody's watching TV. He goes, "Miracle Man, he's back, and he'll spoil everything." A door slams shut, and TV babbles into it. Empty room. It has begun. So now he's Miracle Man. He's with his wife, and he transforms back into Mick Moran. You know, he's got a 3-day beard. You know, he's got a dad bod. He's got the, paunchy. And he goes to visit. He gets a call. He goes, Johnny Bates? Oh, my God, Johnny. So he goes and visits Johnny Bates. There's Johnny Bates. That's Kid Miracle Man, all grown up. So he's like, "What happened? Oh, my God, Jesus, what's going on?" So he tells him, he goes, "I went in. Something happened, and I couldn't remember. I lost my memory. I hadn't lost my memory. I just lost my powers because I was human again, and I thought my friends were dead. So I thought it was difficult to adjust first to being an ordinary 16-year-old kid again, but I had to. For 7 brief years, I've been something more than human. Then all of a sudden, the magic went away. I discovered I was good with electronics. I eventually decided to set up a small business working from rented accommodation to save my life. I did well, phenomenally well. Within 7 years, I managed to found Sunburst Cybernetics, and that became the symbol for Captain Marvel, Marvel's Captain Marvel. So I like how Alan Moore ties everything together. So now he became a rich person. Because what do you think of him? What do you think? I think he's quite fascinating, magnetic, and quite sexy in a sinister sort of way. Lucky for you, I prefer ugly men. So they're talking. He's like, "Whatever happened, remember?" So he's just talking. He goes, "I really want to believe you." He goes, I want to believe everything. He goes, you pushed him over. He goes, "Mike," he goes, are you doing something to my mind?" "No, I'm sorry, but we have, if we don't leave soon, I have a car to Mike." And then he just pushes him over the ledge. He goes, "I pushed him over the balcony, Mike. What?" And he's like, the cold lightning of fear skewers them. Oh my God. They see the face of the smile on the tongue. So he's just like, something's not right. And he just, his gut instinct pushes him, and he's flying. So now Kid Miracle Man, all grown up, is flying. And that's a cliffhanger. Had to wait another month. So, of course, it's Alan Moore. Things get crazy. So, in case my rambling stories didn't make sense, everything was idyllic and perfect until 1963 when Miracle Man and Kid Miracle Man and Young Miracle Man went into a spaceship. The spaceship exploded, and Mike Moran woke up in the real world, for lack of a better term, with no memory of anything, just haunted dreams. He finds the word, says it, brings back all the memories, and he finds out that Kid Miracle Man is not only still alive, but he never turned back into Johnny Bates. So he grew up for 20 years as Kid Miracle Man, obviously keeping it a secret. And the Miracle Man family, they're all super geniuses. So he's just like this super perfect being. And yes, Kid Miracle Man, his former sidekick, becomes the villain of the story. And wait till you see the whole freaking story. It is amazing. If Netflix doesn't pick this up as a series, they're missing out. It just gets crazy. So I just love the innocence of and it works out. This hokey story about traveling back into the future. Yeah, and they definitely, Alan Moore being the genius that he is, he definitely picked up a story that started in the future and goes back into the past. Time travel. Oh, it is so freaking good. And this page gave me chills the first time I read it, because I just knew something. I didn't know what, but I knew something was happening. And then this realistic 80s art. Ah, it's so good. There's 24 issues that came out under Eclipse Comics, and the 25th never came out. And I think so. It's like the biggest cliffhanger in comic book history. So go know that going in. Alan Moore leaves, and Neil Gaiman of Sandman fame takes over for 5 or 6 issues. And Neil Gaiman, actually, everybody else, there was a big fight over the custody battle of ownership rights of who actually owned this comic, who owned the rights to the name Marvel Man. And nobody bothered to check with Mick Anglo, and it turned out he owned the rights. So Todd McFarlane and Neil Gaiman and Marvel Comics were all fighting over the name, and then the guy's like, "Oh, I own the rights." Nobody even thought to ask the guy who created the character. And then I think Neil Gaiman just paid him and bought the rights. And I think now Marvel Comics actually owns the rights to Miracle Man, Marvel Man, Captain Marvel. It's a crazy comic, but just get it. I cannot recommend this enough. I think there's a collected edition of everything. It is one of the best comics you will ever read. And I know I say that a lot, but again, that's the whole premise of my channel, is to show off the best of the best. With an occasional clunker just for comparison. But this is one of the best of the best. Enjoy. Bye-bye.